Sorry, I just wanted to interrupt and say that it's daily yield time, so I hit live on the feed.
Okay, great. So we're just going to do this for the daily yield. So
Yes.
anyone joining?
So we should just say to our audience, welcome. You join us as we look back at a retrospective of the last 6 weeks. We've gone through a number of challenging moments, and this one is where we really evaluate our progress. So watch us as we work through our wins, fails, and everything else. Thanks. And ask us any questions along the way. Back to you, Sam.
Okay, great. Yes. Yeah, we haven't made the progress that we need to make in order to continue to exist as a startup, and we're trying to figure out why. That'd be my summary.
Thank you.
Okay, so on the positive front, we have a list here. So what I'm hoping for next is just like more color in as to why this is a win. And what does this, if we were to pull on the thread more, like where would we pull, right? Like what is this? What chord are we striking with users, right? So like a user sharing a version of My People running fully customized to their setup and getting 16 stars on GitHub. What does this tell us? Like the kind of the deeper why. So like why did that user share that? Like are they trying to build credibility, like build their resume? Are they trying to become known as someone who's like a thought leader around dev harnesses? Daniel, what would you say? Let's just do one of these together.
No, I think he liked the idea of My People and built the thing that made sense for him, like his workflow,
I understand.
and
Yeah.
recorded a video just to show, hey, this is my setup. That's what I did with My People.
Yeah, but there's building the thing that works for you and using it yourself, and then there's recording the video and sharing it on GitHub. Right? That's a different thing.
Yeah. So the reason for him to share the video is he built his thing, and I said, hey, can you share a video of your thing? And then he shared on the group. So in this situation was, I wanted to see his My People, and he shared the video.
Okay, so he told you he had built something. You asked for him to share it. He shared it. So do you think what does that tell us? Is he a friend of yours? Is he like hoping to preserve social capital with you? Is he like, oh, that's a great idea, I want to share this because I want to give back to this community, I have a heart for the community? Is it like, oh, I want to build my resume and my reputation as an engineer?
Not a friend, random viewer came
Is it
after the
like
stream.
Jonathan worked at Apple, he's a big shot engineer, I want to put this in front of a big shot engineer, like.
Yeah, there's only one way of actually finding out, and this will be asking the user. But my guess is, hey, remember the My People you shared on stream? I built my own, and it's cool. They say, okay, share a video for me. I want to see, and then he recorded the video, and I shared. So you can, I shared that on user research. Is the Tuesday, June 23rd.
My guess is he shared that to build credibility. He had an AI win. He took your thing, built upon it, and wants to build credibility. He wants a GitHub profile with a bunch of projects with stars on them. Okay. Any questions before we just try to go through and add? You can add a hypothesis. Let's tag them with our names. So it doesn't have to be right, but just take some guesses, right? Like, but does this make sense? It's a little bit deeper than just like, what does this tell us? That, you know, like an obvious thing is like a user shared a video, right? Like you're just restating the first column in that situation. We want the deeper, like what is this? What switch is this flipping for the human that's doing the thing? Okay. Give me one question. I can't tell if this is making sense or not.
You want us just to do this for the wins right now?
For both, I would do it for anything where you have a hypothesis for like, hey, this tells me something. Did we lose Rowan? He's in the paper doc, but I don't see him in the restream.
Oh, I was toggled off, but I toggled
Okay.
myself back on.
For your Rowan, can you separate yours into like? It seems like there are a couple wins in here,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
it's not clear. Like the 41 podcasts,
mhm.
that's separate
Yeah,
from
sorry,
for
yeah. I was
guests.
just kind of, yeah, I can. Oh, right.
Okay,
That's just,
maybe put it in a
sorry.
separate row if it.
Yeah.
What is the status of the Airbnb seed? Like,
I didn't
At one point,
interact
it was
with
sort
it.
of working.
I didn't interact. I didn't release any new version after the last version that you used.
Okay, I really want this seed running. Um, so should I create one or maybe we can chat? But it just feels like this is kind of died on the vine. Like Jonathan's got this cool dashboard. Daniel, you've got the thing sorta, but I don't know. I've got an Airbnb account. I gave you guys the Airbnb account. I don't have any like any messages being responded to, and so I'm motivated personally for this seed to like create one in my spare time if I need to. Maybe we can take this offline. I don't know. I don't know what the learning is there. What's the learning?
The learning is that it's hard for you to create a seed. That works.
Well, it's sort of like, yeah, okay. Okay, so I'll put this in the meh. Airbnb seed not running on Sam's account. And why is it not running on my account? At one point it was, and then it kind of just...
Yeah, memory. So it's easy for you to set up a chatbot that reply to messages. It is hard for you to have a good chatbot that knows all the history from all your past Airbnb messages and it's learning every day
so
on the new messages.
Demo is easy. Getting to a working product, AI product, is hard. Demo is easy for the first 80%.
This is similar to Ren. Like it is easy for me to set up a coaching chatbot, one that really understands me and sends me relevant messages every time. That's what is hard.
Okay.
And the other thing that is hard is for these projects with external services. That is hard. That is not straightforward for you to validate the flow. This is hard. Something that depends on external service is hard for you to validate and make sure that you have a reliable seed. That if I share with someone else, this will one-shot install. Because the verification is a requirement for you to know if this seed install is working or not. But if you're using Airbnb, the only way for you to validate is either send a real message on Airbnb and see the whole flow works end to end, or have a DTU that you can simulate the end-to-end flow. But in this case, you also need to build the DTU to the person installing the seed. We need to have a DTU running to test the flow end to end before toggling on the real Airbnb chatbot.
Okay. So I'd like now to go through and everyone kind of mark with an emoji the top learning, like the top win or learning. It could be a meh if you feel like it's meaningfully, it should meaningfully change what our go forward plan should be.
So we should pick only one? The most meaningful to us?
Yep. Create a little, use an emoji that's like, you know, something that's unique to you. So I just put my emoji on the Reddit in the Reddit cell.
Would it move to construction at this institution? Kind of weird. What are we gonna do for the most safe one? Well,
Jonathan, do you have people talking in the background?
I may. Sorry, y'all. Be on the mic.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Let's actually do 3. I feel like I want to personally vote for 3. So okay, I give up. I did like 5 emojis, but there's just this is the stuff that we that in particular you want to influence the start, stop, continue.
I did 4. Very good.
Okay. Anyone need more time? Okay. We'll do this one interactively, like live. What? Okay. So if you, as you skim the list, what are the highlights or trends that we should consider in the start, stop, continue? Right. So when we move on to like, what are we going to do differently? What are some highlights here? You know, so you can look at what people have emojied.
I feel like they're like both between like the sharing of the video in Daniel's community and then like the signal from Reddit. Like we've just experienced in different ways a strong appetite for people to like take what works for other people and customize it for themselves. And I mean, that's not necessarily like a new learning, but I just have, when I look across this list, I feel like that's one of the strongest signals that's coming out of it.
Daniel, where did that video, I just want to make sure I understand this. Where did this video get shared?
Which video?
Your WhatsApp group, I think.
The user that update that created his version of My People.
With the 16 stars on GitHub.
16 stars on GitHub was My People.
Okay.
And the video was shared on my WhatsApp group.
Yeah, some other user shared it on your WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
Okay. Mary, why do you feel like the Discord, like the 14 watchers on Discord right now? First of all, how of those 14 are 6 of them us? Who's on Discord here? Jonathan says no. I wasn't on. Lucas and Daniel. So two of the 14.
Potentially.
I did check. So there's 2 bots there as well that counts as live. So that's 6 out of 14 is us.
Okay, is what you kind of saw. So 8, yeah. So, okay, so is that, Mary, is that a different trend or is that a reinforced strong appetite for people to take what works for others and customize?
Well, I feel like
There's
that's
almost
this. I feel like,
yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like Discord is its own. Discord is in the community building. Like people are interested in like what other people are doing, but it's not necessarily giving us a signal that people are like well, I mean, I guess maybe because Daniel's having people do that there. I don't.
Yeah, but there's something else there, like just around like, I don't want to be left behind. So let me get in these communities to understand how others are using AI.
Yeah.
I did a user interview and the person said this. Like, his idea that he shared was using seeds as a way to teach people how to use AI. For example, I didn't know that I could use Claude to build X system for me. Now that I use this seed and this seed guiding me through this process, I know I can use AI to do this thing. Just sharing.
Yeah, they're almost like lesson plans or like courses is a different way. Like we've talked about seeds as like recipes for cooking, but in some ways it's also how you teach someone how to cook, right? If you cook with recipes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have any sense on like benchmarks for like these numbers? Because there's a lot of numbers listed in the win column, but I feel I have a hard time knowing if they're good or not. It's almost as if we set up shop at maybe a maybe it's a busy part of town, maybe it's not, and there's foot traffic walking by. I don't know. Is like 10 people watching the live stream a lot? Is 10 people not a lot?
I don't think we have benchmarks. I mean, I'd be
Yeah,
curious if anyone.
I there's another person in Brazil. He's the biggest one. He was doing a live stream during the weekend. He has 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, and his live stream gets like 100 people, 100 to 200 people watching him building public, him using Cloud Code. 200 people watching. There is the biggest person that does building public. He gets 600, 700 people watching him build his company in public using AI. That is the BridgeMind guy. I don't know how many subs he has. Let me check.
My sense is, Jonathan, what we're kind of looking for is like, you use any signals of life, any signs of life. It's like Daniel's benchmark is a genuinely useful answer to your question, but adjacent to that, I would say is like any sign of life is a good is a thread that we want to continue to pull. Like it's like you're doing CPR, and it's like if there's any pulse, we want to like pay attention to that.
Well, I mean, I guess my question is there a pulse to those numbers at all, even? Or is it enough of a pulse to draw a conclusion from?
I would say there are signs of life in these numbers that we want to pay attention to, yes. Yeah. Or put another way, it's like the choice is there is a world where we like walk away entirely, right? But assuming we want to continue chasing this thesis, so we're choosing the third bucket, assuming, and we should all decide on that and sleep on it, right? But the third bucket, we believe that there's appetite for a recipe site or a catalog of recipes for how to use AI. Assuming there's appetite for that third bucket, kind of the best we can do is take all the signs of life and like stack order them and take whatever is like of the highest confidence from the top of the stack. Does that make sense?
I mean, that makes sense overall. I just wonder if, we're chasing a fishbowl and there's a whole ocean that we're not seeing. That could be a problem. I'm not saying number 3 is not the way. Number 3 is the way. I just want to verify on that.
Yeah, I think if you have suggestions and with the start, stop, continue to get user wins that are outside. So for sure, when we get to the start, stop, continue, we're not constrained to like the historical wins, right? If that's what you're asking. That said, like a common pattern that has worked well for me is like to like look at the first principles of what we want to do and then look at the historical wins and then like pull out of those historical wins and try to iterate on them to make them more repeatable, which is the exercise that we're going through. But I don't want to shut down your line of questioning. Like I think when we go to the start, stop, continue, like I would love ideas outside of our fishbowl that are in the ocean that we're excited about and confident in. So, okay. Okay. Any other highlights or trends we have? Sort of.
For the highlights, should we all go out loud and just
yes, and I'll write them down. Yep.
Okay. So after our Scrum and before our retro, I shared a message on the WhatsApp group, and just by sharing, hey, who's up for using your cloud subscription to install this seed. And there was like 4 volunteers that wanted to install a seed. And this is, I think this is a signal for having distribution is super important. And if we're able to build a bigger community with more engaged users, it will be much easier for us to get feedback and iterate and talk to users and launch MVPs. And like what happened today was like in a tiny community, a tiny signal of that.
I'm trying to understand exactly what you're saying. So, because in some ways there's a win here, and the question is, what are the trends? Let's see. I'm sharing my screen. I'm not sure if y'all can see this. I think, but
I'm seeing.
let's see. What is this? I think this is old. Okay, I don't know how I got over there.
Oh, here we go. There's how.
I just got a message in the chat. It's like a joke. He's saying to pivot to incubate Brazilian startups.
What just happened? I'm like not, my retro page is not loading anymore. It redirects me to one-on-one Codel chat. I don't even know what this is. It's so weird.
One of the OG Codel documents.
Yeah. Luckily, it's not like an actual one-on-one, but I try loading this again.
No, I don't think it's an actual.
That was weird. Yeah. Okay, so Daniel, what seed did you suggest installing?
My people.
So 4 out of how many people in your community?
136, I think.
And you would provide the Claude tokens?
No. I just say, who's up to install
Okay.
a seed, like right now?
Yeah, okay. Okay, and I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure what the highlight or trend is. I mean, I do think there's something about building community. You know, we've been able to build community.
I guess the talking to users is a challenge. Getting user feedback is a challenge. Getting people to install seeds is a challenge. But by having the community, there's a channel for us to be proximate to our ICPs and do these tasks that are important to us. Like, and in this case, it wasn't necessary to set up a user research flow where people would schedule and would pay $50. So it's just like, hey, is there anyone that's up for installing seeds right now?
Yeah, okay.
I think that is
and now it's
signal.
Yeah.
Attention to. I think this is like a I'm like, I don't want to like be the downer on anything, but I just like in looking through this list too, I think I just dropped one of my like learnings in a random or what does this tell us in an empty cell, but like Daniel and Rowan, but like especially Daniel with his like Brazilian community, like you spend a lot of time nurturing that community. And like that feels like a full-time job to me too. And so I feel like there's a good signal in that, but then it also like feels very daunting of like do we invest all our time into just building communities versus actually building products, or like how do you do both?
Mm-hmm.
Like how many hours a day would you say you're like engaging in live streaming and chatting?
I mean, I'm
Hackathons
live
and-
streaming. I'm live streaming the entire day, right? So
Well, no, but like actually like Q&A, talking, like interacting with your watchers, viewers.
So there, I don't have this answer, because whenever there's a message in the chat, I will read and respond, unless I like forget I'm live streaming and only like in working mode. Then I'm just focused that I forget about reading the chat. But other than that, I have the chat on a second monitor where I can talk to people when they ask something.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like much of the content that we've got planned is still kind of in the wings, waiting to go live. We have about 40 videos that are kind of, pent up and ready to kind of get moving. And there's probably argument for the right time to release those, but I just know that when we release them, there is a kind of it becomes a mouth to feed, and we have to be smart, and we want to kind of build a funnel that is self-fulfilling, not that we have to kind of always be this manual lift. So my kind of feeling about why it's been smart to wait is that, once we've built these things, like AI Worth Using will support Watch Me Pivot. Watch Me Pivot will support Daily Yield. Daily Yield will support the Discord community, and there's a kind of like continuous, for want of a better word, echo chamber. And I think it will become more integrated into what we're doing. I think right now it does feel a little bit outside of what we're doing because we're not quite talking about our seeds are still largely theoretical. And I think once we kind of get to a place where we're actually developing these seeds in a meaningful way, I think it'll support less of this kind of, talking around the thing and thinking about the thing and building the communities and things. I think there'll be more engagement naturally, that's my hope. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I not necessarily. I think having the community is one way that worked to talk to people. It's not the only way, and not necessarily we need to do that if we figure out the distribution piece. For example, I saw a video on Instagram. Maybe there was like 1 million views, that video. And the thing was just a demo of a project that is a car gear shift. So like you pick like from the first to the second gear, and it changes your cloud code from Haiku to Opus, or from Opus to Fable. That was the thing. 1 million views.
So this is like a physical gear shift.
Physical
gear
on
your desk.
Not a physical, no, a app gear shift that the person was demoing. Was maybe 10 seconds. Demoing the product, doing something on Claude. People asking. There was the CTA to have access to that thing, and if we have this, we don't need like a community. We just figure out like how to make people desire the thing we're doing. And by having this funnel, we will have funnel for people to test, funnel for people to see if people would buy that idea, a funnel for wait list, and see if there's desire.
Okay. Any other trends or highlights before we move on? Just want to keep this moving along.
Lucas, I feel like you have good thoughts in this area oftentimes. I haven't heard from you yet.
I'm all for spending time on the community. I think that's going to be really important for us. The one thing that I'm struggling with the community is like I can't communicate with Daniel's community. And so that part's like not having non-English speakers is like hard. Like, I think we'll have to figure that out, how we can like either bridge that gap or like bring in more, like find some foothold in English community. Either one of those I think would be really great. But that's like, it was really fun to like live stream with them and like, but I can't, going through Daniel is just like kind of tricky to like answer questions or like talk about what I'm doing. It's just not feels like it's so close.
It's only a week and a half old, our community right now, right? So this is just, at least we're not going from 0 to 5. We're going from 16 Brazilians to to like it's not as hard of a gap, I think, because there's chatter, and the worst thing that can happen is you come to a Discord community and there's no chatter, there's no action, there aren't 3 people live streaming, even though it's in Portuguese. So I do believe that we will start getting more English speaking people, and the hackathon was kind of the big push. If you recall, we were thinking that we could get more of a kind of English speaking audience with the hackathon. But we're just being paused on that while we figure our stuff out. Chicken and egg, isn't it? It's chicken and egg. Like, do we get the product right first, or do we get people involved?
Yeah. There's a tension here around these sort of like niche communities are more tractable as far as a foothold, and like we found an awesome niche community like Daniel's Portuguese audience, but we don't speak Portuguese. There's a fundamental tension with that, right? And so it's like, do we try to find other niche communities, to grow into your point, to repeat this playbook, or do we invest in the Portuguese community and learn Portuguese? It's like, yeah.
I wanted to show you. I mean, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the online AI tool sharing community that use ManyChat, right? I mean, I actually just put together one slide to kind of show you who I'm following. Would you guys mind if I just shared that quickly as a reference? Because I want to know what kind of overlap people have.
Yeah.
With what I'm seeing as activity day in, day out, because I wanted to kind of show that there's like.
Sorry, and I have never heard of ManyChat. Is that a thing? Did you say that, ManyChat?
Yeah, it's where like a creator will say, if you want to this seed, just comment seed, and I'll send, and then you auto reply. And before you do that, you can say, I'd love to send you the seed. Just hit a follow. If you follow me, then I'll send you the seed. And then you can like either send the seed, or you can say, go to our Discord community where you can download the seed. There's a lot of ways that you can, farm engagement. Yeah, it's fantastic. And here, let me just share with you, because these are amazing follows. And honestly, I feel like these are where we're headed. It's just, again, it's crawl, walk, run. And I just don't want to kind of get too far, too fast. And maybe this is, again, maybe I'm being too cautious, but I've been waiting for the seed page. I've been waiting for the hackathon to really kind of make this a thing, and allowing kind of Daniel to kind of continue to kind of run this and grow his audience. But like these guys here, if you guys follow any of these guys, and I put this in my flywheel deck in the old plow, you'll see the level of engagement is off the charts. And all these guys are doing is they're coming on and they're saying, excuse me for the hustle culture reference, right? This may irk you. I personally am still pretty into these kind of hooks, but people will say, website design is dead. And you're like, oh God, hyperbole, vaporware, right? But it works. And you know what? Some of these guys actually are providing incredible value. And the appetite for this learning is insatiable. These guys have between 60,000 on the low end and 900,000 followers on the high end. And we are absolutely poised to go and do this kind of content. All we need, and that was actually kind of my thinking with when I shared the greatest hits seeds. If you come in, if you're just scrolling and you say, hey, what if you had a seed? It's a one-shot install, and it would, you're going to go and see to the zoo with your kids this summer. This is going to give you your learning agenda for going to the zoo. Just hit seed in the thing, and I'll send it to you. You know, we could find a library of 30 easy download seeds and just feed this, every week and build an audience that way. There's an audience for seeds out there. Another way to do it would be a pay to play. We could contact any of these guys and spend $5,000 and probably get, I don't want to put a number on it, but a large number of people coming and checking us out. So there are things available to us out there. It's just the question of when do we do it, and that's what I've been kind of trying to weigh up is when do we do it. And maybe after this conversation, we'll you guys will be like, let's get the signal, let's test the signal, let's try it. Daniel, what do you think?
I like it. Yeah, I see. There's a lot of people that. These videos works. Like I do receive these videos on my Instagram as well. And personally, I don't think we need a seed page for us to share those videos, because the person who's watching this, the person doesn't care about the seed itself. The person cares about the value that she will get from that thing.
Can I just understand? Are we Rowan or Daniel? Are you proposing we create these videos, or are you proposing that we create a tool that people who want to share workflows, almost like a ManyChat competitor?
Oh, that's interesting. At a base level, I was thinking that you, Daniel, myself, anyone else who's interested in getting on Instagram and TikTok and giving out these seeds could probably get, pretty far, pretty fast. So I was thinking I would do it. I know Daniel is already doing it. And I think probably somewhere in there, Sam, you could be doing it, and anyone else. So that's kind of like a simple growth strategy.
Doing it being like create videos where you're like comment seed to get the install instructions. Exactly.
And I actually also think Mary would be really good at this as well. Sorry, Mary, I don't mean to volunteer, but your videos are really compelling, really good, and you show a lot of authority. And you also kind of have good solutions for what I think would be your audience, which would be like professional females that have a job and also want kind of like a full social life and to use tools to kind of organize. I mean, your skills are great. So yes, that's why I've been trying to focus on creating a template that is repeatable. Again, to kind of just bring some of that branding back and have some of the reflected glory back on Plow. Is if we can go out there and channel our efforts into reaching people with these seeds, Plow becomes the destination where they end up.
Got it. Okay. All right. Let's move. Let's get into the start. So I can continue. Any last comment on trends?
I don't know if it's like the trend is really well documented in this paper, but I've kind of been feeling this on a couple things. Like the Airbnb seed isn't actually running. I feel like we're getting 80% of the way on certain things, and then seeds or setups, but we're not quite finishing it, or like we built this cool thing, but we didn't build it in a way that is up to spec with the convention, so we don't want to necessarily share it. You know, like it's like we're getting like 80% on like complete on a lot of these kind of like thrusts, but not 100% for like whichever reason, and it feels like we're leaving learnings on the table there.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think that's a really quite a salient point. And what I interpret that as is we don't have conviction in the underlying first principles, right? Or we are not acting out that conviction, right? So actually kind of wrote out the North Star. And for some reason, we don't have enough conviction in this North Star to really like, just like follow through on it, right? And finish the swing. So the North Star being, okay, people don't want to be left behind, but they're also overwhelmed by all the AI tools and videos being released. There's an appetite for a trusted source to find tools that work, like a recipe site, right? Like, you know, these tickets, like to create a recipe site are over a month old, and, you know, we still don't really have like, you know, or to create the installer, or to create the validator, or to create the seed creator, or, you know, we still don't really have something we can show to a user and like disprove this hypothesis, you know. And so there is an element of like focus here, I think. And certain things have been harder. I think partially part of that has been like things have been harder than we expected, right? You know, and so, but I do think, Mary, the question behind your question is very powerful, which is like, you know, if we believe this statement, like what is holding people back? And what does that mean for our start, stop, continue?
I would almost argue too that the fact that it is harder than we thought it was going to be is almost better for us. Because if we figure out the solution to that, we could really help people. Happy
My problem, so
or maybe we've overcomplicated it past what it needs to be, which is another problem.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a great point.
Sorry, Lucas. What were you going to say?
I have a lot of conviction in this North Star, and then but when it comes to like actually implementing it and like concrete examples of like who's creating these seeds and who's using these seeds, that's when it like I'm realizing for me it falls apart. Like I can see somebody consuming a seed, but knowing the work that it takes now to create a seed, I'm struggling to know like who's going to go through that effort versus just like sharing some code.
Creating the seed is harder than creating a code base and sharing the code base. So this is, yeah, it requires like real engineering to build a seed that works.
Yeah, I don't know that the seed itself, like the seed format is, we are religious about that, right? Like I think of what we're creating as like a community that is sharing recipes, and those recipes could be code. They could be how-to docs, you know, they could be, right? But they could be podcast interviews with a link at the end, you know, but the key is like, I go here to find the thing that's going to work on my computer and solve the problem in my life. And so what does that artifact actually look like? I think we're kind of flexible about it. Okay, let's get some proposals for start, stop, continues. And my mom has been texting me that they are lost for the last hour, and I just saw her drive by, so I'm going to go wave her down. So I'll be right back. But yeah, so start stop. Like I think everybody's kind of done a start stop continue. I assume, but if you haven't, what are we doing that we want to stop doing? What are we doing that we want to continue doing? What are we doing that we want to start doing? And let's just go for volume here. Let's kind of get provocative. Okay, do things that you might not even have confidence in. Oops. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna highlight some stuff in red. If it's in red, it means it's not clear to me exactly what the proposal is. Like, and if you wrote it, I would maybe try saying more specific, like be a little bit more precise or specific about what we're gonna do differently. Like, instead of build community, maybe it's like start launching some video on this date, or everyone post in Discord once a day.
Could you repeat the instruction for the red tagged ones?
So red is, I'm looking for a more specific language. So instead of like unleash the social media feed, it looks like Patrick is saying start posting, X on this social media. It's like what are we actually tomorrow morning? What are we going to do that we're not doing today? Daniel, can you elaborate on what a one-off launch, like what when you say stop doing one-off launches, can you say like stop launching things
You
like
want,
yeah,
you
like
want me to reply out loud or just update the...
I know if you just update it like I guess put another way, everything is a one-off launch, at least for the first launch, and so are you suggesting we follow up on any existing launches? Here's an example. We kind of one-off launched Plow, right? So if we want to stop one-off launching things, we should launch another edition of the Plow Mac app. But then there's an alternative, which is to stop investing in the Plow Mac app entirely, right?
What I'm saying is, in the Almanac example, we posted that on Product Hunt. There was no, not a lot of information or a lot of feedback, and then we just leave it there. Instead, like, there was other stuff we could try. Look, so for example, I could post 30 days, 30 different videos about Almanac, and I could run ads about Almanac. I could talk with influencers about Almanac, and trying to, so just publishing one day in Product Hunt and not having a great result doesn't mean that the idea is bad. Maybe I was just not able to sell that idea correctly. Maybe the video I use is not good enough. Maybe the copy is not good enough. Maybe the ads are not good enough. Maybe I didn't spend the necessary amount of time on that launch to make it succeed. So, for example, for Plow, we could have been launching Plow every day for the last 90 days until one of them works.
Okay, if you have listed a start, stop, continue, and you're at a stopping place, can you put your emoji next to anything that you would be excited about doing as part of our go forward plan? So let's say like 2 or 3 items that you're most excited about. Try to look for things that are not your ideas too.
We're voting for things we're excited to sign up to do. Is that what you said? Sorry.
Who's the fencing?
as close to a kendo emoji as I can get.
Rowan, you're the heart, I would assume.
Oh, yes.
Okay, yeah, great.
Is the workshop a bunch of crowd pleaser seeds that's supposed to be in stop doing? Or
Oh,
start?
no, that's meant to be in start. Thanks
Okay.
for
Like,
quite the opposite.
yeah.
All right. Okay, so this is what. Well, actually, first of all, does anyone have any voiceover reactions to the start, stop, continue? Did somebody intentionally create the third column? Can I delete the third column? I'm going to delete it. Okay.
I have a feeling Rowan's trying to create another row. There we go.
Oh,
There's one
there we go.
right there for you,
I was
Rowan.
trying to create a row. Did I create a column?
You created a column, but now there's a row at the bottom to start
Okay.
carrying for you.
Okay. This is not working for anyone with OCD. I got it.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Let me just make sure I understand a couple of these. So, John. So the crowd pleaser seeds. So typically your first foothold is like a niche, right? Like Daniel with the Portuguese audience, right? And so I'm trying to understand the desire to stop working on niche seeds like the Airbnb audience seed as a demonstration seed, and to get adoption within a particular niche, like let's say Airbnb property managers or wedding, people who are getting married would be another good example of a niche that's on here. So there's like that thrust of like not working on those seeds, and then there's and then there's also a proposal to work on crowd pleaser seeds. My position is like, setting aside whether we work on the Airbnb seed, or the wedding seed, it's always like, hey, we got to focus on niches. We got to focus on like a foothold. And so I'm always inherently skeptical of any plan, which is like, hey, work on the popular thing. It's going to be great. Everyone's going to love it. Because typically what happens is you just drown in the noise. Am I seeing this particular point incorrectly? Because I'm seeing a lot of votes on this topic.
I did actually do a little brainstorm on what they look like last week. So like I think broadly speaking they would be popular, but I think the popularity would come out of the utility. Not everyone has kids on summer break, but you could identify something that would be popular with people within that niche. Let me see if I can pull up some examples that I shared. Like,
I think for me, why I put my vote there was less crowd. I guess I was more reacting to like, it feels like we need more seeds, and like, so whatever we're going after, like, can we create a lot of seeds for that to kind of just have a deeper catalog.
I think also some of it's the amount of effort on some of these. For example, the Airbnb one. So first of all, like it's been a lot of effort on that particular seed. And it's also an extremely small audience because it's an Airbnb host, but also that has like the HostX platform. So it's like so small that we're not going to be able to get user like learnings, I think, out of that. And people willing to install seeds and like all these other factors where the funnel is extremely small. And I think we've spent a lot of time on that one in particular. So I'm saying like on ones that we've done that are outsized effort, I think it's okay to be in like a niche or solve problems for ourselves, specifically so we can also dog food. But if it's going to be like tons of time and not get us where we need to go, then I think we should stop.
This seems more specific to like the Airbnb seat. It's just been like really difficult, and we don't have any users. We don't have any like positive reason to continue. But you want to just pull. Essentially, you're saying cut our losses on the Airbnb seat specifically, less around focus.
Yeah.
On a niche.
Or I mean, if anything in the future comes up where we wind up spending a lot of time, then I think we need to evaluate. But yeah, specifically, I think the Airbnb seat personally.
Okay. Any other voiceovers? What I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the rest of today developing a go forward plan based on the start, stop, continue for the next couple weeks. What I want to do is avoid a like majority vote kind of democracy thing, because in this moment, but rather try to distill this into like a plan that is somewhat provocative. And I'll present it to you all tomorrow. And so I want to make sure I understand all of this. So any other voiceovers on any of this? Okay. Two other updates. Rowan, I will be talking to all investors this week. So starting next week, we are good to go, like pedal to the metal on any kind of publicity.
Okay.
So
look out.
I want to, yeah. So that'll happen. And then there's a part of that update that I would like to share, but we will actually have to turn off the stream to share it. I think some may already know. And then the third update, or the third thing, is an ask of you all, which is in the next hour and a half, can you talk to a real user, a real human, every one of you? Which it could be posting something to Reddit, like post, what are the top Airbnb, or sorry, what are the top wedding, AI workflows? Has anyone used Claude? It could just be post a question to Reddit, just some sort of attempt to talk to a real person. It could be posting in Discord, asking people questions. Could be posting in the channel with Jesse and Wes and Justin. Just ask him about like the locust thing, or let's all just like try to do, if it's just legit a question that you can type out in 30 seconds, try to do 3 of them. You know what I mean? if it's like you're going to try to post on Reddit and you're going to put time into it, maybe at least one. But in the next hour and a half, can we just all try to engage with our community and these potential users in some way? In some way that would yield a learning in a future retro like this. Okay, those are the 2 action items, 2 pieces of homework. Cool. Do we want to wrap up the stream? Go back and gather?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks everyone.
I